Hello awesome people of YouTube, welcome back to another game of StarCraft 2. This is going to be our Protoss player, PtitDrogo, and his opponent is going to be Elazer, who is the Zerg player. Now, you are going to see on the top hand side, game number 1, in case you have missed it. It is very important that you watch from the beginning of every series. So just to note that, the annotations are going to be there. If you have them disabled, please enable them now. And that's pretty much all I have to say about that. So just a bit of details very quickly. Elazer, he is on Team True Esport and he's from Poland. And PtitDrogo, who's on Team Millennium, and he's from France. Just very quick details, I do like to do that at the start of every cast. Not going into any more detail than that. Does look like we have a Nexus first coming down here from PtitDrogo, sending off that drone a little bit early since it costs 400 minerals to actually put that up. Does look like the hatchery coming down also for Elazer, and he does put that down before hatchery, or before pool, just to note that. So obviously doesn't expect any aggression from the Protoss player, something you definitely rarely expect altogether, because the way Protoss plays out right now, you very rarely expect any aggression. So, Elazer deciding to go for a triple hatchery first rather than getting a pool. So obviously he is thinking about all economy right now. Now, if we notice here, PtitDrogo is going to be able to spot this pretty damn quickly. So he is potentially going to be able to punish this if he manages to bring up a cybernetics core very, very quickly. Now, just to note, I've changed the color of the life bars. There was a suggestion made in one of the videos to change it. To be honest, I didn't even notice that much that it's team colored life bars, but you know, now that I've done it, it's actually quite alright. It means that the health bars are going to be red, yellow and green, just like they would be inside the game itself, instead of being the color of the team player. So there we go, we do have double gateways into cybernetics core coming out. Seems that this is PtitDrogo's preferred style of play. And the spawning pool is now about to complete. So obviously he's going to be able to defend up against anything that comes his way, since he will have Zerglings before the Adepts come on out his way. Now he's going to quickly start saturating this base. As you can see, he did not opt to get any gas at this moment. So obviously right now he's just thinking about drone up, build up a huge amount of units, or a huge amount of drones, and then we'll see where we go from there. Now this is something I discovered recently. Unfortunately, I discovered it ages ago, but I didn't make use of it until recently. So we do have a split here, army supply versus worker supply, and it's going to be quite useful for judging roughly how the fight outcome is going to go, if there's obviously no micro of any sort. So in terms of APM, obviously the Zerg tends to be a lot higher than pretty much anything else, and that is simply because he has to control his hatcheries. It's not just, you know, click on the Nexus and start building. He has to control, he has to sometimes rally them differently. So there we go, we do have 2 Adepts on the way down. This is going to be warded off quite easily. I do believe that there are enough Zerglings here. 6 Zerglings and a Queen should be able to defend against this quite easy. Now 2 sentries on the ramp here, going to be able to defend against this, no problem, blocking it off completely. Does manage to take out 2 drones here, bringing them into the main base. Getting a 4th, a 5th. Is he going to be able to snipe that one? Yes, he does. 6 drones for the cost of 2 Adepts. At this point, I would say worth it. Particularly the fact that he manages to snipe a Zergling as well. So those did pay for themselves, definitely. 6 drones is actually quite significant to take this early in the game. Especially when Elazer's whole point of taking 3 bases was to basically pull ahead. He wanted to get the economic advantage, but as you can see now, a 3rd Nexus going down for him as well. So at this point, he's going to be catching up very, very quickly, and 3 base Protoss is something very difficult to deal with as a Zerg player, because he's going to have those Immortals, he's going to have those Stalkers, and they're going to be so difficult to deal with. Now it does look like there is a robotics facility on the way also. And there was a Overlord taken out there somewhere. Not quite sure where though. Did manage to supply cap him. Or supply block rather. So looking at this, there is currently 5 total Vesp. Okay. Elazer, you're doing this all wrong. You're confusing me. There's 4 total Vesping geysers being used right now. Because they didn't touch the ones in the main base. It's going to be interesting to see, is he doing this for a specific purpose? Ooh, a 4th hatchery coming down. This is very, very peculiar. At this point, he's absolutely expecting zero aggression from PtitDrogo. And he didn't see that there's a Nexus coming down. So he's completely guessing right now that there's not going to be like a 2-base all-in or a 2-base aggressive push. It does get the full scout out here. Going to be pretty much aware of everything going on. There is 2 more extractors coming down. I really do wonder, is he going to go for ground units or is he going to sneak a Spire in here? Does go for Glial Reconstitution, puts up a Hydralisk Den. And more scouting going on with these Phoenixes. There is a drop loaded up here, 4 Zealots. Gonna be interesting to see if he's gonna do this again to basically destroy a hatchery here and there. Quite useful tactic actually. I've only seen a few players do it, and my god does it work well. If you manage to destroy a hatchery for a Zerg player, it sets him back so far, because not only does he need to get that hatchery back up, he doesn't have the production capability of the extra larva that it provides. And to keep in mind that Zerg really has to rely on their hatcheries. Think of it this way. The Protoss player, if you destroy a Nexus, okay, it prevents a bit of income from coming in, but at the same time he still has the gateways. To destroy both income and hatchery and production capability, you have to destroy 2 buildings, which is very difficult to do. It's twice as long as destroying just a Nexus, almost twice as long. Does look like PtitDrogo is deciding to go for Archons yet again. Archons, of course, extremely useful against Zerg because they do extra damage versus biological. A 4th Nexus coming down here as well. This Zergling is going to be able to spot that. Is it going to be difficult to hold on to this if Elazer decides to put on a bit of aggression right now? Now, level 1 Carapace and ranged attack for ground units is coming up. 6 Roaches and Hydra is also on the way, so he is building up his forces right now. A 5th hatchery on the way. Holy crap. He is deciding to pretty much macro up pretty hard here. He does recognize that, you know, there is a 4th base coming out for PtitDrogo, so if he doesn't do something about it, he's going to fall down behind. Going to zoom out a little bit. We're going to have an engage here. What are these? These are actually Ravagers. Would it probably be more beneficial to have Lurkers right now, but Ravagers are pretty okay too. Does do a full-on engage here. I do think that PtitDrogo is in a better position right now. 1 Archon is about to drop here. And okay, the Zerg reinforcements are starting to come into effect here. Ooh, this 1 Archon getting caught out. Oh, it didn't attack the Hydras. 1 more attack would have actually saved that Archon's life. There was a bit of economic damage done from both sides. Nothing major though. Just 3 probes and 2 drones. Oh my god. Okay, I take that back. Look at this. This Zealot drop again doing this massive amount of damage. And this play from PtitDrogo, very, very clever. He seems to have done it in 2 games now, so I wonder since this is a best of 5, I wonder is Elazer gonna start copying onto that a little bit and decide to put down maybe 1 or 2 spine crawlers in his base, just to basically put down a bit of, or give him a bit of extra time to bring units over to defend. So the front attack here obviously just being used as a distraction, which I very well have to commend PtitDrogo, doing very, very clever plays here. And here we go, we do have the engage coming down here. That poor sentry getting absolutely decimated by about 4 or 5 corrosive biles. Lurkers are now going down. I do believe there's probably, yes, there's definitely an observer in the air here somewhere, because he is able to spot pretty much everything that's going on. This Zerg army gonna have to back on up here, gonna need to reinforce it before doing anything significant here. Does look like the Lurkers are on the high ground, able to attack this Nexus, so no mining gonna be going on here for a while. And the question is going to be how much is going to get done. Oh, it does look like the observer is actually with these zealots here, coming over to clear these up. Oh my god, and there's a big warp in here with loads of zealots. Does decide to focus this Nexus down with the Zerglings, and he's pretty much doing exactly what Elazer, or sorry, what PtitDrogo was doing. He's trying to destroy Nexi, I think is the correct plural term for it, to counteract the economic damage that PtitDrogo is doing to him. So level 2, or sorry, that's level 3 actually, weapons for Protoss going. Once this is complete, he's going to really want to put the hurt onto the Zerg, because at that point he's going to be at his strongest in terms of ground forces. And if you notice, it's only level 2, I believe. Yes, that is level 2 ranged weapons going down for the Zerg. He will shortly have level 3 after that, so definitely going to be a good timing to attack as soon as the level 2 are complete. Now it does look like he's getting more and more Archons. Now one thing I really miss is there doesn't seem to be many High Templar Psionic Storms going down. I suppose maybe it does cost a little bit too much and for the benefit that you get. Plus the fact that it seems that Zerg tends to build a lot of big units these days. Hydralisk pushes are not that common. They're only really common when there's a massive air force coming out from the enemy player. But then again, even when there's a superiority in air, it tends to be quite common to just, you know, rush in with the ground units. There we go. These Zealots coming in here. There's no detection going down. So these Zealots gonna get cleaned up unless this Protoss force comes here to reinforce. Gonna start to be doing a bit of damage here. These Zerglings have been transferred into the base. Actually, looks like they might have just escaped straight in. Did get cleaned up before doing 4 probes worth of economic damage. Now this hatchery is going to be in a lot of trouble if Elazer cannot defend it. There are Zerglings coming down, but Zerglings versus Archons, definitely not a good choice. And he has got quite a lot of gas, so I'm not quite sure why he would build Zerglings only. I suppose maybe he's just trying to use up the larva since he has a lot more minerals. There we go, 2 more gases coming down now. This is going to be 8 gases in total. Now I do spot there is spore crawlers here, just in case. Not particularly sure why they're here and not next to the Nexus. That might be a little bit more beneficial. I suppose maybe to catch out any observers. Now 2 more lurkers being put up on the high ground. They do get spotted straight away though, so unfortunately going to get cleaned up very quickly. And of course the cannons are also in position to defend against this. A bit of a waste. Lurkers do cost quite a lot. And oh my god, the Zergly run by does manage to snipe a Nexus here quite quickly before the actual Mothership Core decides to show up. A lot of Zealots being warped in as well. And these Zergly run-bys doing quite a lot of damage now. The big engage here going on. There is lurkers from every single direction here. It's going to be very difficult to snipe them out with Purification Novas. Does manage to snipe out 2 just now. But these, there are so many of them on the high ground here. More lurkers being streamed down. Going to be doing a lot of area damage. And there we go, more Purification Novas. And as I said, the 3 attack from the Protoss, so difficult to deal with. They do so much damage. And at this point, how is it going to play out here? Let's bring up the army supply. It does look like PtitDrogo does have a superior army supply overall. Actually quite a big difference right now. Almost double the amount in army supply. But the workers is actually okay. Another hatchery getting denied here. And it does look like he is actually expanding off the back of that. Doesn't look like PtitDrogo is aware of it at all. In terms of income, it does look like they're pretty damn even right now, so about 1700 minerals per minute. And the only reason that Elazer is actually able to keep up here is because he managed to snipe off this Nexus, which really paid off well for him. Now he did decide to put down cannons in this base, so what he's doing is doing the exact same thing here. It really did help him quite heavily last time because he was able to spot those lurkers on the high ground. Very clever play. This is going to be a very tense moment for both of our players here. There's going to be quite large engage, but I do believe that PtitDrogo is quite a bit ahead here. He has a much superior force, a huge Purification Nova, forces the GG, Elazer, GG's out. I do believe this is a 2-for-0 right now. We're going to be moving on to game number 3. Let's continue on with that. Right, and that was game number 2. It's going to bring up the series to 2-0 for PtitDrogo. We're going to be moving on to game number 3 of this best of 5 series. My subscription button, if you want to follow me, underneath my face, also at the bottom of the video on the desktop. And that's pretty much it. As before I let go as well, there is my social media links are on the right hand side. If you want to look me up, please do. It'll pretty much give you notifications whenever I upload something. It'll be very useful to keep track of what I do. And also announcements will be done there sometimes as well. That's pretty much it. I'll end it here. Good luck, take care, and see you guys in game number 3.